So good afternoon
Yeah.
to Rifa and Anissa, and I'm thanking for accepting my invitation today for this interview session.
Okay.
So my name is actually Joanna, and I'm a student from Faculty of Social Science, which is I'm taking psychology subject, and then this course I'm taking is called Digital Counseling.
Okay.
So we are actually required to interview a registered counselor so that we can learn more from their previous experience.
Okay. Sure.
And so, before I start, I would like to pass you this informed consent form first.
Okay. So this one. Job title lecturer. No hospital then independent. Or university. Ada. I'm not in. Or perhaps should I take which one? Ada or university counseling center?
If you are working with outside the community,
Okay. Sure. Okay. Should I take? Okay, starting from actually 2012. Okay, I got license 2016. Which one is the official one actually?
the official one should be 2016.
2016. So 3 years, eh?
Yes.
7, 8, 9. Okay, almost 3 years. Today is
It is,
19.
yep, 19.
You know my KBBA, right? So that thing.
Miss, do you want to like introduce yourself first?
Oh, okay. So actually my name is Anissa Zainab binti Musa, and my student call me Puan Anissa here. So I'm actually been teaching here for starting from January 16. So now is my second semester being here. Okay, last semester I'm teaching fundamental counseling and also theory and practice of psychotherapy and counseling. But for this semester I'm teaching lifespan development, okay, childhood and adolescent, and also lifespan development for PY, adulthood and aging, that one for this semester. Okay, and about the counseling practice, okay, for this semester I'm not quite active seeking for a client, but actually it is a compulsory for us to give service to the community, okay, as well as to the a service, I mean not the counseling service lah, I mean consultation for the student, okay, in case they have anything to ask, so they can just consult us regarding academic performance and whatnot. And somehow in Utah also we have what we call as AA, academic advisor and academic advisee. So anyhow, I give the advice and also it's like counseling session for my student during the AA visit. Okay, whenever they have problem regarding academic or financial or anything they want to discuss with us, so we welcome them to come to discuss with me. Okay, that one is what we call as informal service lah for student. But then for the formal one for the community, I'm not quite active for this semester. I'm about thinking to have my plan for future to work with this one school we call as Sekolah Rendah Islam in Simpang Pulai. That one is the upcoming program somewhere in October after the student finish their UPSR. So that's the upcoming plan lah for this semester and for the community. And about what else about the academic background, so basically I have my first degree in psychology from UIA in 2010, and then I continue my master, and my master I finished my study in 2015, and then later on I continue my PhD. So now I'm still ongoing in my PhD, doing research with young prisoners in 4 different prisons in Sungai Petani, Marang, Terengganu, Puncak Alam, and Muar Johor. Okay, that one is also still ongoing study. Plan to do pilot study, to conduct pilot study somewhere in July. And yeah, that's all.
Okay. So I'd like to ask, how long have you been practicing counseling?
Okay. So for the official one, of course, in 2016, when I started to have to and when I got my license, actually that one is the official one lah. But then actually, previously when I finished my study, that's when I attached with this one college. Okay, so previously I'm teaching with International Islamic College. Still, when they know that we have a background in counseling and psychology, then they ask us to somehow to give a counseling session to the student. Okay, although we still not certified yet, but then actually that one is was my first experience lah, to provide counseling service to the students. Okay, after I graduate. Yeah. Okay, and
Yeah, so do you have a specialization or clinical focus?
also at the moment still no specialization, but actually I love to study about adolescent. Okay, my focus is adolescent because previously my research during my master, I conducted a study about grief, how they adapt the adjustment when you lost the loved one, especially mothers. And I study about grief counseling and to the youngsters, especially adolescent, so how they cope and adjust themselves into the new situation. And some more for my PhD also, I'm doing the adolescent also. Okay, to study young prisoners, to study about their personality, to study their coping skill, how they adjust themselves. Okay, to study, to understand about their character and behavior, why they involved in such delinquency action. Okay, so actually there's no specialization. My specialization only from that area.
So usually when you deal with those juveniles in prison, do you provide them like group counseling or like one-to-one session?
Yes, okay, so basically my plan, actually in my proposal I suggest, okay, because it's not yet approved, so I suggest to conduct, okay, there's a lot of what we call techniques and how to to collect the data. Okay, to collect the data. So one of the way to collect, of course, by having the interview session to conduct individual counseling. So I will choose only one participant from each of the prison. Okay, one participant to conduct interview, and also I will interview also the counselors over there, because in each prison usually they have a counselor. So I will interview the counselor as well to get some information regarding all the youngsters there, all the young prisoners there. And some more, to get more further information and detailed information also, I will conduct focus group discussion. Focus group discussion, so basically it's like a group counseling. So in the group counseling, we will share together about their ideas, about anything that we would like to share. So I will choose on few topic for them to discuss in the group discussion, so that I can gain more information about them. And some more, I would like to also to explore about their personality pattern. Okay, so perhaps I will select one instrument to understand, like a big five or something like that, to explore more about their personality, to see is there any relationship between the personality and the action, the juvenile action that they commit before. So because personality pattern actually might influence their behavior somehow. Okay, so basically it's really important also for me. And and actually the number of the young prisoners in these 4 different prison actually different, because based on my survey conducted, there's a lot of young prisoners in Puncak Alam, because it is a center right in Kuala Lumpur. There's a lot, they have hundreds, something like that. But as you compare with the Sungai Petani and Muar and Marang, they have less number than that. Okay, because it's like a small town and small state, right? So they have less number. Okay.
Okay. So what led you to choose a career in counseling?
Okay, so basically, why I choose career counseling, of course, because actually, from my own perspective, I love to do with people. I love to deal with people basically, because from my own opinion, people or a person usually they have their own story. Like me myself, I also have my own story to tell. Then by knowing and helping people to understand their lifespan, to understand their story, then it will benefit me and also benefit the client also. And some more why I choose career in counseling. So at first I love teaching, okay, uh, and I enrolled in a faculty of education in UIA, and the faculty also offer the master in counseling. So I decided to choose master in counseling because last time I did my degree in psychology, so it is like interrelated between psychology and counseling. So that's why I choose to be in counseling. And some more why education, yeah, because I love teaching. That's why I choose a counseling under the faculty of education, because over there when we are doing our practicum and internship, they ask us to go to the school, different school, because we did that one for 1 year for internships. It's about for two semesters, internship one and internship two. So over there, I learned so many things in the secondary school and even in the primary school and even in the IPTS. Okay, because they have different level of age, different levels of experience that I learned. And why I choose counseling also because I benefited from counseling as well. I went for counseling session, then I learned how the counselor give counseling. So from there, I really encourage a student who plan, okay, to have to study counseling, to go for counseling session at first, so that from there you can learn and you can benefit from the counseling session. You know that you can learn something from the counselors. Okay.
How about what's the theory that guide your
Okay.
practice?
Basically the behavior, or to be behavior theory, or to be exact is CBT, cognitive behavior. Cognitive behavior therapy, um, or theories, okay, I love to use behavior because why? Behavior and cognitive, they are interrelated. Somehow the your thought might influence your behavior, right? So that's why we study CBT, and that's why we're really concerned about the cognitive function and also the behavioral function, because um, there's also advantage in studying CBT, to understand CBT, because why? We can see the patterns on how people how people thinking, and how the thinking process later might affect their behavior. You see, we can predict on that pattern. And some more, I love also to study about not only CBT, behavior therapy as well, and one more is about, of course, behavior therapy. We study about the behavior, okay, the adjustment things and all. One thing is the reality one, reality theory, okay, because in the reality we really what emphasize on the responsibility, okay, think about your future, where we are now, and also to adjust yourself in if let's say to create awareness to the client. If let's say you are now, you are a student, so you need to bear your responsibility as a student, to accept your responsibility. So what you should do as a student, if you are now a mom, so what will be your responsibility as a mom? What will be your responsibility as a wife? Okay, so to recall and to remind our client that they are responsible upon anything that you choose. Okay, because why? Because in the reality also is focusing on your choice. What you choose, you will be responsible on that. Okay, if you choose to study here, then you need to follow all the rules and regulation here. Rules and regulation, you need to follow all the policies here because you choose to study here in Utah. Okay, that's about reality therapy. Okay, you need to bear in mind, um, a responsibility will come with your choice. Okay. Yeah.
So, Miss, what is your personal theory of how client change?
Okay, so on the personal theory, um, I really encourage, okay, my client to see their own value, what they value the most in their life, what they want to achieve in their life. It's like to create awareness on them. So by knowing your own value, by knowing your own aims and objective in life, so perhaps it will guide you in future. So of course, in any things that we do, we need to know our objective, why we are here. why you choose to study in Utah, what's your objective actually to be here, why you choose psychology, why you not choose other subject, other courses here, we have a lot of other courses, so why? So you know your own value, or perhaps okay, I'm doing or studying psychology and counseling because I love to deal with people. Of course, when studying psychology and counseling, so it is must and compulsory dealing with people. We are talking about dealing with people. Therefore, if you see your value, you are very good in dealing with people, you are very good in your communication skill, you are very good in your relationship with people, you know what you want to do, that that's your value. Okay, that's your value. So uphold your value and try to attain and get what your objective, what you want in your life. So by having that kinds of thing, you will not mislead yourself. Okay, so you go through the right path, something like that. Okay, that's my idea about my how to facilitate the client's change. Not to think about the past already passed. Now you need to think about your future, what you want to have. Okay, I plan to finish my study. After I finish my study, I want to find a job, a good job, so that I can repay back my parents, so I can help my parents in future, and also later on to find a good spouse, to have my own family, something like that. So think about the future. If you think about the future, it will direct you through your future. Okay, something like that. Okay.
So what therapeutic techniques or counseling skill do you use with your clients?
Okay, like I mentioned before, what what I like the most actually is to use CBT. Okay, because the CBT also they have the element of thought. Okay, the element of thought, where the element of thought later on will influence the behavior, the action of your client. So at first I will start to recognize the client, the thinking process of the client itself. So what you are thinking about this. Okay, let's say I am having financial problem. Okay, so what's your idea? How are we gonna solve this? How I'm gonna help you with your financial problem? So why not we restructure back your your spend, what you spend for your life here as a student, how much you gain from your parent, how much you gain from PTPT, and something like that. So the skill is the technique is first to create awareness, to get to know, to understand the client issues first. Okay, and some more, of course, I will implement the technique and skill during the session with the client. For example, empathy, listening, okay, reflection of feeling, okay, reflection of content, uh, and also active listening. Because why in the counseling session we need to be an active listener, because in the active listening part we are trying to get the main idea of the issues of the client issues. So listen carefully what are their main issues and we try to understand them. Okay, and somehow I would love to use also confrontation. That one is the basic things like in counseling, confrontation. Why we use confrontation? Because we want the client to think twice about their decision, about their action. We confront back. Why you say so? Is it worth for you? Is it good for you and also for your family members? So we ask them to think twice. That's related to confrontation. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so how about in what ways do you utilize multicultural counseling competencies in your work?
Okay. Multicultural counseling competencies, yes. Actually, competencies in counseling is really important. It's related with the qualities and characteristics of counselors. Because why? If no qualities, also, yeah, of course, the client that coming to you, of course, seeking for your help. So of course, you need to show them that you are good at what you are good at, and also trying to help them in any possibilities. Of course, the qualities you need to be transparent with them. Okay, you need to be transparent. Okay, you need to be empathy and try to understand. And number two is about you need to have a counseling skill. That's the must for counselors. Communication skill. And next quality is being non-judgmental. Okay, as I mentioned. Okay, being non-judgmental, not to judge your client. Okay, so accept your client whoever they are, whether they are poor or rich, whether they are whoever they are, regardless of their ethnicity, regardless of their background, regardless of their social economic status, regardless of religion and so on. So that's the best quality. And try as much as you can to help your client. Hmm, trying as much. Because why? By helping your client, somehow it will give you self-satisfaction. Because why? Oh, okay, so you managed to finish with this session and you managed to finish your client, and later on you will see happy ending to your client. So it will give you some accomplishment, okay, to your work.
Yes. And what do you use? What do you see as current issues that the profession that you are dealing with is facing?
Yeah, okay. The current issues, okay, in the profession as the counselor as the challenge, somehow is the way where we need to diagnose the client, uh, to get the accurate read, to get the accurate reading of your client when we are doing assessment. Somehow when the client comes to us, they are facing difficulty. Oh, okay, and then we need to decide what assessment to give, what the client facing actually, what the problem of the client actually. We are need to diagnose them to give a good diagnosis. Because why? If there is error in our diagnosis, of course there will be error also in treatment. Okay, diagnose and treatment, they are interrelated. Okay, if you give wrong diagnosis, later on it might affect your treatment. If you give false treatment also, then nothing you can do, nothing can change the client if you give false treatment. So therefore you need to understand, okay, listening to clients, okay, that one is good. Maybe perhaps you are good at that, you are good in communication skill, you can listen, okay, yeah, okay. But then how you going to interpret the client's issue, what diagnosis you want to give them, okay, and also what treatment you want to give them. Okay, that one you must most one of the most challenging issues for me in this profession. And the second one is the number of the counseling itself lah, number of the counselor, sorry, number of the counselor itself. As I mentioned, in my opinion, we need to have more counselors. Okay, perhaps in school we can have more than one, but nowadays we have only one, usually only one counselor in each school. So in my opinion, perhaps we can have more than one. Because why? Is listening to people's problem is quite tiring. You see, quite tiring. You see, since morning you listen to your client's issues 1 hour, and then for next hour come again, next client 1 hour again come again. Somehow in one day we can have more than 3 to 4 sessions in one day. And as counselor, it's not only listen to your client, you need to write a report, do some reflection on your client, plan for the client's treatment, plan for the and everything diagnosis. So it's quite tiring actually. So I really understood why being a counselor is not that easy actually. People come and share their problem. People come, it's not happiness, but problem.
Yeah.
People talking about problem. Oh, okay, and then we need sometimes also we as a junior counselor, I regard myself as junior counselor. Whenever we don't know how to help the client, so I will rely back to my supervisor. I will go and call them, ask their opinion, and also okay, what to do with this kind of client if they are talking about this. Okay, ask for supervision from the expert. If let's say we are not expert, like me myself, I consider I'm not quite expert in counseling because I'm quite new. So I will seek for their advice, something like that. So it's quite challenging actually. Okay, and yeah, the number of counselors, I guess we need to have more counselors. And that's why the government really encourage those who have degree or masters in counseling to register yourself, so that you get license, then you can legally practice your service and give service to the community, to help the community as well.
Have you ever deal with like clients that wanted to like suicide?
Yes, I've been through that one, but that one before I got license. Okay, and because my company know that okay, I'm doing counseling, but then not yet certified. Then they asked me, okay, so why not, Anissa, you do you teaching at the same time you do counseling. Okay, I say never mind lah, because there's nobody qualified over there. There's nobody got a degree or master in background in counseling, so I'm the only one. Okay, never mind lah, I say never mind, but then I'm not a certified one. But then if you want me to help you, then I can help as much as I can. Okay, and then there's one student, okay, from this one, the diploma level, plan to commit suicide, have intention to commit suicide. Because why? Because got problem clash with boyfriend.
Mm.
You see lah, this is the all the teenagers issue. uh, okay, clash with the boyfriend, and then boyfriend got a new girlfriend, and then left her alone, and then decided to commit suicide. Then I told her, so what happened to you? You still have your sisters here, because both of them, they are studying in the same college. Okay, she got sisters there. Okay, so why don't you just stay with your sisters and also mingle together and going out together and whatnot, so you can just do any activities that can heal you. Okay, and even you can find new boyfriend, so why you are rely on the last one, okay, the previous one. So uh, yeah, at first she seek a counseling session for few times. Okay, before she decided to commit suicide, because at first I never know that she's having problem with the boyfriend. I thought it's just only academic, because she's never told me that she's having the problem with the boyfriend. And suddenly when they came to the last session, she said that, okay, actually I got problem with my boyfriend, and I want to commit suicide. And at that moment, at that point, so I notify that, okay, now she's got the suicidal ideation. So it's very dangerous for her and also for me. Okay, so because I'm the only one who give her counseling, so I decided to inform the higher authority. So whenever the client got, of course they are student, so I inform my principal by saying that, okay, this particular student got the suicidal ideation, so we need to do something. Okay, so after that moment, then get to attention of the superior higher authority, then they said that, okay, so I need to closely monitor this student. So luckily until now she's fine. I regularly consult her, give her advice, and also I mean, not advice, give her moral support. Sometimes she's only, yeah, moral support. That's issue lah related to teenagers.
So, what do you like most and least about your job as a counselor?
What I love the most is dealing with client. Okay, I love dealing with people, actually listen to them, uh, and help them, especially because in counseling we are dealing with the adjustment. We are not change the client totally 100%. We are adjust themselves in the light of the client itself. Okay, so that's counseling. As you compare between counseling and therapy is quite what we call, um, they are different actually, therapy and counseling. Okay, usually in counseling, we are dealing with the adjustment issue. Adjustment, let's say you are a new student here in Utah, you don't know where to adjust yourself, you feel stressed being here, you feel stressed with the assignment and so on, so we are helping you with the adjustment issues. But then when it comes to the therapies, perhaps dealing with the severe issues and problem. So what I like the most is, yes, it's about dealing with the client itself. Uh, by helping them, it gives me some sort of accomplishment and satisfaction. Okay, and somehow it will help me to understand people's perspective in different way. Okay, by understanding different perspective, and then we get to know, oh, okay, this is how these people see things. Maybe we see things differently and the client see things differently, the same thing, but then they see it differently. So by knowing this, it helped me to improve myself actually. I will reflect myself. Okay, just like a self-reflection, will reflect myself. Oh, okay, this is how people perceive this. This how people appreciate this. Okay, you might be thankful to God, because why? Oh, okay, there's a lot of people, they're having their own serious problem, like me myself, I need to be thankful to God, because you have to give me this kind of feeling and so on. You see, yeah, later on you will appreciate your life. Yeah. Okay, and list about your work, of course lah, because in counseling is quite tedious. Okay, there's a lot of thing to do, like I mentioned to you just now. Maybe perhaps you love listen to your people's problem, love to help people, but then it's not only about love to help, you love to listen, but then you need to come up with the diagnosis and treatment. So this is about knowledge, where you need to utilize all your knowledge in counseling. Okay, so how to identify the issues, what diagnosis, what treatment to give. So it's quite challenging for me. So it's like I need to go to attend for training more, to learn more, although I have graduated already, but then I still feel that I need to learn more time to time and from day to day, because every time the clients come, they will give you different issues. So of course you need to familiar yourself with different issues, not only to, perhaps it's not only to master in adolescent. So later on I need to study about marital issue perhaps, so I need to study about elderly perhaps. Okay, yes, okay. And also yeah lah, okay, that's thing to improve.
Okay. How did your training best and least prepare you for the realities of being a professional counselor?
Okay, how did your training best? Okay, please prepare. Okay, yeah. Training is really helpful. It's really helpful for me. So every time, every semester, I will attend. I will assign myself into training. Okay, it depends on the type of training. If let's say, and it depends also on the fees, because actually the training for counseling and psychology, actually quite expensive. Somehow it could reach 4,000. Yeah. Okay, if you attend training under government, then you will subsidized by the government. Perhaps you only pay 100 ringgit or 200 ringgit. That one is the cheapest lah. You can go for 200 ringgit, 100 ringgit for one training, and it depends on the number of days of the training. If 2 days or 3 days, maybe it require more than 200 ringgit. And some of the outside training also, if the training organized by the private company or anything consultant or whatever, so it costs you more actually. Okay, um, by attending training, it really helped me, because why? Because I will meet, okay, I will meet with different counseling from different region, different state, and also from different consultant from different areas in the field. Okay, like I attended one training last semester in Putrajaya, organized by Kementerian Pembangunan Wanita, Keluarga dan Masyarakat under this Hanayo, okay, the Minister Hanayo, that one under that ministry. Um, we are attending, what is the topic for the addiction? The training is related to addiction and family. Okay, so how family supposed to deal if let's say they get to know that their children involved with the drugs. So how family should react, how family should help the children whenever they are involved with drugs and addiction. So somehow this training is slightly exposed me myself, although I'm not dealing with the addiction. Okay, I'm not doing addiction, but then it gives me new perspective and new knowledge how to deal with the addiction. And regarding meeting with new friend, yes, in the training, I met with counselor from penjara, okay, counselors from hospital, counselors from polytechnic, counselors from secondary school, primary school. They are all levels of counselors over there, from various and different field. And also counselors from LPPKN, you know LPPKN, that one under JKM, Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat. That one, and also the same kementerian, Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat. So when we went there, we can share our ideas, perspective, and discussion about the same issues. That what I like the most about training, because I can meet and also share different view and different idea with different counselors from different areas. And also what I list the most, sometimes, yeah, the training can cost you, like I mean lah, it's quite expensive lah. Sometimes you need to sacrifice yourself lah to spend. If the company, if UTA can sponsor, then okay lah. Sometimes actually UTA sponsor for the training, but there's a limit lah. How much you can go. If let's say you cannot even go for more than 1,000 fees for the training. Okay, if you go more than 1,000, then you need to pay yourself extra. Something like that, because UTA have their special education. So you need to understand, if you want to go for more training, then you can pay it yourself. So otherwise, the rest the UTA can sponsor. That's the what we call as benefit for the staff lah. Benefit for the staff, because UTA also encourage the staff, all the staff to seek for knowledge and to attend more training so that we can learn more.
So what advice would you offer me if I'm considering to be a counselor?
Okay. So if you plan to be a counselor later in the future, or perhaps to continue your study, okay, number one is to choose the best university. To choose the best university that can provide you the best learning experience. If you feel UTA is the best, then you can go to UTA. If you feel that other university can give you the best, then go and expose yourself to the other university so that you can learn more. Okay, and what else? Number two is when you want to be in this to be a counselor, seek for counseling service. Perhaps you can go to the SA, Student Affairs Department, and go over there, and maybe you can ask for 1 session, 2 session of counseling service, just to share your anything, your concern regarding academic or anything. So by having that kind of experience, perhaps it will help you to understand the counseling profession better. Because right over there in the DSA also, all the counselors over there are certified counselors, whereby they practice every time the counseling session. Like here, we are both in two different fields. We are teaching, at the same time we practice. But like all the counselors, they are more on teaching, but for this counseling service, they want for community outsiders. But for you as a student over here, you need to consult them for the counseling session DSA, because they are counselors for student. DSA counselor for student, but for us, we are counselor for community. That's why we need to give consultation for the community, school and outsiders, not for UTA student. For UTA, you need to go there. Okay, so informally, I will give on this session with the AA lah, academic advisor. Okay, and the third one, okay, number one just now, to choose a good university for you, and to choose the good faculty in the counseling faculty. Okay, maybe we have few faculties in Malaysia that offer counseling. Perhaps you can go to UKM, UPM, UPSI, UIE, or USIM, University Sains Islam Malaysia in Seremban. Okay, there are few. Okay, and also psychology also they have more. Okay, USM got psychology, clinical, UPM clinical psychology, yes, UIE also got clinical psychology. They offer psychology. And the third one is to do research. To do research. Because research later will benefit you, where you can contribute, you can come out with the latest statistic, you can come out with the latest finding. You see, when you are doing your written assignment or any assignment in the class, lecturer will ask you to find the latest journal, right? That's the purpose of the latest journal. Why we conduct research? Because we want to give the audience, we want to give the society the latest result of our current situation. If you conduct your study or doing research in, let's say, depression or suicide ideation or whatnot, so you can conduct the latest data from the community. That's the purpose of the latest journal. So if you have the latest statistic and data, then you can contribute it to society. So you can publish your journal online so that people can read your journal. So from your journal, students especially can benefit from you. That's the purpose of research. That's why I really encourage you to conduct research. Like us also, UTA staff, every semester or every year we need to conduct research and publish article, publish online, so that community and society can benefit from our journal and research. So that whenever they want to conduct study, to do study, to read about latest issue, current issue, then they can rely on our journal. That's the purpose. So that's why be in academic is not that easy, but it's actually, yeah, benefit lah. It benefit you and also society based on research. Okay.
So I want to ask one last question about, if after I finish my study in degree, would you like suggest me to further my study directly to master, or like should I work for maybe another 1 or 2 years before I go into counseling field or like a clinical psychologist in my master?
Okay, I would suggest you to work first. Okay, I would suggest you to see uh, the profession first. Maybe after you finish your first degree, you can apply job as maybe assistant, research assistant, or anything in the university, or even you can be a lecturer for diploma level because you have degree. Okay, usually for those who have degree, you can apply for diploma level, okay, in the IPTS. Because like me myself also, when I finish my first degree, I try to find a job first. Okay, for 1 year. I work for 1 year as a lecturer in the IPTS, and I teach diploma level because my qualification on the degree. Okay, after I finish, while I working, I pursue my study after 1 year. Okay, after 1 year study, after 1 year working, I pursue my study. I do it part time. My master is in part time, so study and working at the same time. Okay, uh, okay. So while studying and working at the same time, I gain experience over there. Uh, and luckily, okay, one more thing is to who fund you now, PTPTN or
PTPT.
okay, see, PTPTN. Of course, you need to work first because you
Yes.
need to repay back the PTPTN, because after you finish your study, after 6 months you finish your study, then the PTPTN will issue you a letter that they will ask you to repay back within 6 months. So within 6 month time, then you need to find a job to return back the money to PTPTN. So you can pay by installment, right? 200 every month, 200, okay, better. Then uh, you can go to any university that can offer you part-time study. Okay, so usually for master level, yes, they allow you to do part-time. But unlike degree, yes, everything must be full-time. Okay, so while working and studying and pay back PTPTN, but for your master, I really encourage you to find scholarship. Because like me myself, yes, I got scholarship for my master. So because master, usually if you're studying in public university, it will cost you around 10,000, 10 to 15,000 for master, because master only require 2 years or 3 years. It depends on how fast you can do your research. Okay, thesis. Yeah, try to find scholarship while, and then you working, pay PTPTN, gets funded for master, and then within 2 years or 3 years you'll finish your master. Okay, and then later, while doing your master, perhaps you can find a good job, because now you are doing your master, you can perhaps continue, or searching for good job, or maybe you can teaching in the IPTA or IPTS, teaching for degree level after you finish your master. Because if you have to teach for degree level, of the minimum requirement is master. Okay, if you want to teach for master level, minimum requirement is doctorate, PhD. So like me myself, I'm not yet doctor, so my level is only teaching for degree. You see, that's the level how you see yourself. And also perhaps you can also plan your timeline. Okay, so what you want to achieve. Now you are 20, how old? Okay,
21.
21. So how many years more?
1 year more.
Okay, 1 year more. Okay, so maybe by 2021, okay, 2021 you finish your study, you are working for 1 year. While working, look for a job. Okay, try to find scholarship. So unless you can save your money, you can save your salary every month and give to your parent, or return back activity and something, or pay your maybe you plan to buy a car perhaps. Okay, so, and then after you finish your master, PhD, you can go for PhD. PhD also, I really encourage you to find a good university that can offer you the best. But PhD and master, the most important thing is supervisor. Choose your supervisor wisely, that can accommodate you, that can help you, because there's a lot of my friend having problem with the supervisors. What I mean by best supervisor, good supervisor, is like you must have the same interest with the supervisor. if your supervisor love to do about adolescent, so perhaps also you also must be the same interest with the supervisor. So otherwise it might be difficult for you to really, I mean difficult for the supervisor also and also you to understand each other. Because why? In thesis, writing thesis for master and PhD is like you work one to one. It's just between you and supervisor. Like FYP, you see FYP also is you supervise your the supervisor supervise you and give comments, some feedback about your writing, about your research, and then you go back and writing and then collect data and so on. So everything is between you and your supervisor. So of course you must have a good relationship between your supervisor. Same interest, good maintain a good rapport and relationship. So that of course you can be successful. Same goes to the PhD. Okay.
Yeah, so thank you very much for the sharing today. And also actually this is a
Oh my
token of
gosh!
appreciation. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm fasting today. But
You're
never mind.
fasting too. Oh.
Because actually, for Muslim, because last time I missed my fasting due to menses. You know menses
Yeah,
because
yeah.
when we are menses we cannot fast. So I need
Yeah.
to replace back lah.
Okay. Maybe you can drink it at night.
Okay. After I break my fast, later I drink.
Yeah. Thank you very much
Oh,
for
okay.
your time. Yeah. Let me